Do you even know who the fuck I am? Do ya? Alrighty, what is up, guys? Knoxville track review. For a long time, I regarded this as the best track in the game, and then just 2 or 3 builds ago, it just became so locked down. It was kind of when the cushion got toned down enough where the middle kind of just came in on every flat track, and it just really made this kind of a putt around the bottom. But it still certainly could be a racy track. Like, I almost thought it was more racy in officials when it was cleaner, when the track was fresher than in league races, because every league race we ran had like, at least at the time, had just 60 cars and would burn the shit out of the track, and it'd just be no fun to race on come feature time. But yeah, I used to, like, ever since I thought it came into the game, I thought it was the best track just because the top and bottom could race so well. But then right now it's kind of, at least for a good part of the track's life, if that makes sense, it just becomes in the middle. So in a replay here, we don't have qualifying what the track looked like, but this was an official race. It started with slight usage, and this was during the track had that really weird bug where the bottom was really, really slick. Come to feature time, but we'll just take a look at, you see a little bit of slick on entry right here, kind of drains off, and then it's kind of scrubbed in the middle of the corners. You see it's just lighter dirt there, just a little more slick from people running the bottom. For qual, same thing in 3 and 4. So we'll go back to our overview, and that's pretty much what qualifying is all about here. You got it's either same thing on both ends, not as much in 3 and 4 as 1 and 2, but so yeah, let's just reiterate that. If you have pre-gen, it's tougher. It's a little tougher because it's more on entry here. But like you said, this was only started with slight, so it kind of looked like that. And so it's all whether or not you should follow the slick up and around, or if you should try to slag it in 1 and 2. That's a bad slagger line, and that's really what you're trying to determine. Usually there's that little, actually let's go back to a replay. Let's go back in my own car. I use, let's actually go a lap in the race. Alright, let's go up here. Right here, where it flattens out, it's for, like, I think push trucks and shit to come down the berm there. That's usually where I run into if I'm running the slider line. So you're usually crossing up right here in the corner. So I usually judge it depending how much slick's right here in the corner, whether it's enough to upset the car, or whether or not I can go straight through it and just cheat the entrance of the corner and make up time, and then keep as much momentum on exit as I can. Otherwise, if it is too slick, you just got to run the top around, just kind of right at, not at, well, it depends. It's hard to say when to be at the fluff and when not to be, but just you want to get above that slick there, because if you come in through the slick and half cheat the corner, if it's slick enough, it's just gonna make you light up your tires and lose ground, and someone can go all the way around you. But yeah, so that's for qualifying. In 3 and 4, it's kind of the same thing. Here we go. It's kind of the same thing. You'll have some slick on entry, but with 3 and 4, you want to be as low out of 4 as you can, as low down the track as you want to be. So you don't want to be slagging up. If you can hook the bottom a lot more, the bottom stays around, because you just don't have, whether it is cars coming around the pits or people running the top to run a swing lap, the bottom does not get as slick as quick. And sometimes you can either just cheat right below that slick and turning it. Sometimes if it ain't slick enough, you can turn right through that slick without a problem and just open up your entry to stick the bottom. But it's all about hitting the middle right, not getting that left front up on the berm, and then once you're at a certain point in the corner, you can kind of just turn down, and then it will just roll the rest of the way. And then otherwise, like I said, it's just if that slick's there more, and then even a little slick on the bottom, you can either slag it, run above it. But remember, if you're slagging it, don't get up too high. If you're running above it, try to cut down low even. Sometimes, not usually, but there's even a cutback right away in 3 and 4. Like maybe this slick, I'm just drawing lines to draw fucking lines. maybe the slick only trails off to right there. So then this is all grip on the bottom you can get. So you can't really run the bottom because it's too slick. So you can kind of come in, run high, and then angle it off just a little bit. You know, maybe not come down all the way on the berm, but half a lane down. Because you never want to be high up in 4 here. You just lose all speed. You always want to be as low as you can. So yeah, that's qualifying. And then in heat races, in the officials, it's usually just full throttle. Right around the middle on the fluff or slider line. So we'll just redraw our slick in here. So this is a normal heat race, and it's usually, so what you're looking to do, look, there's a lot of people, you know, oh, it's a train, they can't figure out how to pass at Knoxville or how to set up a pass because it is so fast, because the corners are so wide. First swung is out of turn 2. This is going to be pushing up a little bit more and a little bit more, you know, with everybody running their slider line and coming up the track, they're making more of a corner on exit, so that's why it's going to get a little slicker. Even when people just run the high side, they still usually keep it really straight and then make the rest of the corner, and that's why it just builds up. It will not build up, but it's slicker and slicker there on exit. So first thing here is you're looking for someone to slip their rear end out of turn 2, because then you can either run on them on the straightaway, and try to slide them in 3 and 4 if you can't, but otherwise at least you just build more speed into the next set of corners in 3 and 4. And then, like I said, you can even try to run that cut down, or just, you know, keep building up more speed higher and higher eventually to where you can try to throw a slider in 1 and 2. Generally, that's where you'll see most of the sliders thrown in heat races. Like I said, though, otherwise, I mean, that's officials. In 3 and 4, like I said, if the bottom's there, you can try to stick it to try to pass them there. You know, it's tough to do, like I said, when the track's so fast. Otherwise, you know, people don't really get loose out of 4. Like I said, just try to keep building up the momentum. You gotta wait for an opening sometimes. You know, you can't just, you know, oh, I got a little bit of a run, let me, you know, throw a slider that's not going to work at all, where you have to throw it so far up the track they just easily cross over and you both lose speed. Sometimes you just got to be like, all right, I have a little more momentum. Well, I'm going to follow them in the corner again. I'm going to take my car a little bit higher, half a groove higher, just because I have more speed. That way I'm right on their tail. You know, if they make another mistake in the next corner, and you just kind of wait for openings. But what happens in league races when it's generally slicker is just this gets a little more built up, this gets a little bit wider, and then you can start pushing the cushion here. You can start asking for some on entry and kind of getting down the track a little bit, or once people keep sliding up, then if they do that, the slick out of 2 gets so wide, say it's up here, now where's the most grip in the racetrack? It's on entry and then cutting down on this exit of 2. So you're looking for that exit of 2. So you can get up, grab a little bit of cush, and cut down, and if you can keep your car straight enough, if you cut down at the right angle, do it sharp, but keep your car straight, that's the fastest line on the racetrack. Same thing in 3 and 4, but it comes in later. It comes in 1 and 2 first, just because you can't get up there and get so much cushion on the entrance of 3 and 4. We'll go over that. But then what happens is you got one guy going like this, then you got the next guy sliding, the next guy trying this and that, and people just meet in the middle all the time. So you really got to watch your mirror, you know, knowing when to cut down, because if someone's even if they're not running a slider behind you, if they're running just the middle, you're in the blind spot of their wing, so you might just cut down right in front of them and make contact anyways, you know, because a lot of people like just driving in that corner with as much momentum as they can. I mean, which you need to here at Knoxville because it's such wide corners, so you're just trying to keep as much straight line momentum as you can whenever you can. And you might see that, you'll see that then kind of at the start of an official race. You know, like I said, because in a league race, you'll have the heat races get a little bit slicker. But at the start of a feature in an official, you can see that, where the cut down might come in right away. Otherwise, in 1 and 2, this kind of gets out to the wall. But then once it's up to about the middle, you know, people still have this full lane. Maybe the bottom's a little slicker out of 2. People still have this full lane to just full throttle all the way around, and all they're worrying about is exit, even slider. But what I've seen, at least this build, as soon as a full thin line develops, a lane, not a lane down, but on the cushion, once a full little thin slick line develops, I feel like it's already too slow, at least in 1 and 2. I'm moving around. As soon as I see that, that's my key to move around. Like I said, it's you guys noticing a pattern here. The track works up and up and up, and then it comes down, and then it goes to the middle. It's damn near every track. It's at least every flat track. You guys should be getting that by now, because you're chasing the grip. You're chasing where the least laps are on the racetrack. And eventually, you know, because it is a full lane, full throttle, you know, all 16 cars in the field can easily run the top, just full throttle all the way around. That's what gets the slickest then. Then you can move down, okay, the bottom where there was only, you know, a couple qualifying laps when it was fresh. Then the bottom comes in. We'll talk about that. But as soon as I see that one thick, not thin, I mean, line around the top, that's when I know I'm going to start looking for other lines. Maybe it's cut down, maybe it's middle, maybe it's bottom, but I am not running the top all the way around unless I have to. Just because I don't feel like that speed's ever there. So, let's go back to our in-game race. So we talked about heat races. Let's just go to feature. See what our track's like here. Alright, so this is, I wonder if there's a B main. Okay, there would have been B main. So here's what we got kind of now. You see the one lane there. I think we can zoom this in a little bit here. So you see our one lane on the bottom. That was our qualifying lane. And then if you think of this second lane right here, that was our heat race line. And now you see that if you just go back and look at, was it my Charlotte? Yeah, my Charlotte replay where you see those little grooves in between starting to form, and then you have the top. So in 3 and 4 here, you don't have two distinct lines. It splits up a little bit right there in the middle. You see a thin line of grip here. We'll just go cockpit. And we'll talk about these. Let's go to car out front. Who's leaving? All right. So you see the two distinct lines. You got grip middle, grip low, grip high, but there's more grip high. So it's full throttle around the cush, what I mean, the full lane. 3 and 4, here, I'll go to me. You got the bottom, and then that little thin line only on exit, and then that second line just above it. Alright, so that's what the track looks like at the start of this feature. So let's skip ahead, go to lap 10, let things generate a little bit. What do we got now? We got people running the top. We got slicker on the exit of 2 there, if you see up top. You see turn 3 and 4 is pushed up a lot more. And slick. You see this extra slick patch on the exit of 4 right here. Like I said, 3 and 4 is always changes usually differently than 1 and is later than 1 and 2. Because where you would see, okay, see, I'm running the cut down. If we go to my onboard, we're entering up top, but then because it's so slick out of 4, we're trying to hit that little middle grip spot that we had before. Because if you see on this exit here, it's really black, really dark right there. So we're trying to run this cut down, bring that in. Because the top all the way around is already starting to go away. Alright, so that's lap 11. So now we'll skip ahead. We'll try to go to lap 20. Let things generate. You can even see, like, you know, when I do that, when I skip back and skip ahead, you see how it regenerates. You're going to see all that. Now it's loose crumbs because everybody moved down. People, I wonder if I can find that exact lap. Alright, so it's clean right now. You see the top on 1 and 2. They're already running the middle. We're already running the middle because we already moved down. And like I said, the bottom wasn't as good because this was that weird week where they had that weird shit happening where it was icy black slick on the bottom at times. I think that does end up happening in this race. But we're running middle 1 and 2. I'm just watching these 3 cars in 3 and 4, and then bottom 3 and 4. So we moved away off the top already, in 3 and 4. Still a lot of grip on entry of 3 and 4s. You see that there? You see that over here? We'll go on board. Or yeah, this is, yeah, okay, so this is going into 3 and 4. You're not going to be able to see it that great. How about we go far chase, David? Yeah, you see, like, right here, it looks like there's almost 2 grooves out here of grip. But then if you know, even if you slid that up, you end up hitting all this. It's such a thinner lane up there on top where you have enough on bottom if you get your left, there I hit the berm a little bit. But if you can get your left sides down in this grip, as long as there's enough for you to get your left rear in there, you'll be all right, because then you can chase the grip all the way around on the bottom, keep the car smooth. It's just a shorter way around. It's better than going up the way up there through a slick. And then in 1 and 2, we're coming at an arc, trying to make the corner as straight as possible, just right through the middle below the crumbs. And then we're even, okay, so there's nothing really to exit on middle. It just gets up to that slick, so we're trying to cut that down a little bit and get this grip on bottom. Now, why wouldn't we just run the bottom all the way around? You see, it is a little slicker here, but like I said, because of the how wonky it was this 1 week, I don't know, it should be patched by now. You couldn't really run the bottom on entry because it had those weird slick spots. Same on 3 and 4. But let's just go back up top, skip to the end of the race. Let it generate. Here it just looks really messy. A lot of crumbs on both ends, it looks like. Yeah, there's still a bit on top of 3 and 4 there, because I think that's me running that. And then you see 1 and 2 though, it's just a lot more crumbs, a lot more dirtier. Cushion, the slicks pushed up a lot more. So it's really just chasing the grip. So if we go back here, what we had here was our 2 distinct lines. Well, now it's all fucking... Let's clean this up a bit. Alright, so we had our 2 distinct lines. We'll call the other one was the bottom, and you had that. And we eventually made the 3rd line, and that's when we came down. We started running the bottom, we started running the middle. That put up a bunch of crumbs up there. Now what happens then, say the bottom and the middle goes away, then you see the top maybe come back in. So now if the bottom got slicker and then the middle's gone, it kind of moves to this 3rd lane where people ran at the either maybe a B main or the 2nd heat race maybe, but that 3rd lane, because the track is so wide, that sort of comes in, the top comes in, and then even the bottom just right around there kind of comes in, and the middle if you can roll it, but kind of all just depends how your car's set up at that point once the track just goes full completely slick. Because you're not really just chasing grip anymore, you're just kind of going wherever your car feels best. Yeah, top just gets really, really choppy. You know, you got to watch out for that big cush part right there, because that will upset the car. On entry, it gets really, really slick. You can spin out if you enter on it without, we thinking you can go full throttle. You're calling my car straight. Not going to happen. Not in 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 pretty much stays racy. 3 and 4, it's same thing. Let's bring up a 3 and 4 here. Like I said, in late models can kind of run all over on this. Doesn't matter how slick it is, whether it be a slagger top or bottom. Even the heat race, the bottom can stay around. But so we get our slick on entry, get our slick around the bottom, and like I said, we get our 2nd lane around the middle, and it always pushes up more in 4. So like I said, now you see you can come in, you slide up, and then it starts getting more and more narrow in 4, and that's what we saw in that race where I was entering on it then and trying to cut down to that middle grip. So let's move this out to exit. Exit will probably be a little more choppy. Yeah. Alright, so then once you get it like that, like I said, there was still leaving a lot of grip. We'll leave it as much as there is there, but then we started either running the middle, right between the 2 lanes, where the lightest dirt would have been, otherwise just trying to hook the bottom all the way around and try to get, oh my god. That's why we need a new mouse before we play any FPS shooter, seriously. Otherwise, it's just stick the bottom grip out of the straightaway out of turn 4. Like I said, just not at the bottom when you're running through the middle. You just want to stay around the light dirt as much as you can and keep up as much speed as you can. Running that top, it gets really, really slick. Like I said, in the official this season, that cut down stayed around. It seemed to be the best line in 3 and 4 because there was those patches that we couldn't get through on the bottom because they were extra slick. It was just enter up top and cut down was faster than top all the way around, or once that middle ran away. If the middle even comes in the officials. I feel like 2 seasons ago in Daytime, it did a lot. Yeah, it's basically just pushing the groove up the racetrack, looking for signs when to move off the top, and that's kind of when the race starts then, as soon as it moves off the top. whether how much the bottom comes in, if you can bring a cut down in, or then waiting for even the middle to come in, and it can still be a good track. But just once it gets at a certain point now, it just slows down so much where everybody kind of becomes the same speed, and like I said, it's just not my it's not how I like to race my sprint cars, at 60 miles per hour. But yeah, that's Knoxville. Like I said, it's still a decent track. Like I said, it used to be my favorite track in the game just because that bottom would come in so strong, that top would stay a little stronger. So when that bottom and middle did come in, you could still run the top, but now you just can't run the top the same. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. As always, peace the fuck out. Got the election tomorrow. All right, yeah, go vote. Make sure you vote, guys. So we'll see if we even have a video next week, if we're still alive, and we'll see. But yeah.